Hey y'all, it is June the 10th, 2023. We're all up in the middle of Pride Month. I don't know if I could take it any longer, but we're all up into the Pride Month, way down deep up in it. And I just wanted to bring that up briefly. I will also mention that, of course, I've been slacking, but you can already see that. Actually, I think that there's a video that I got to upload that I never uploaded. There's videos that I deleted. But I've been slacking real hard, right? And I haven't even gotten on Rumble. Isn't that a damn shame? I don't want to dwell upon that for too long, but I just want to mention it because that really is happening. It's like, dude, I got to create a new Rumble account or something. I can't figure it out. But in the meantime, I wanted to holler at y'all just about my day, right? Some people enjoy that for some reason. Um, I wanted to talk about something that's fairly serious before we get up out of here, and we're actually losing daylight. I don't know if you could tell, but daylight is running out very rapidly, so we kind of got to get to it. But before we get into it, I will mention that anecdotally, something happened to me today. Um, as you can see above my head, there's a parade, a river parade, set for Saturday, and I think there's going to be two parades. I guess pertaining to it, I did read a little bit into it, but I just wanted to point out that downtown, the Riverwalk, they had a parade. It's Pride Month, of course. Everything. If I type in San Antonio Pride, of course, it's going to be all about orientations and stuff, right? Rainbows. I don't know what they did. It's one of those things that, shoot, if I had more initiative and drive, I would get down to downtown San Antonio, and not to protest them or anything like that, but just to watch the Shenanigans. And I've thought about it, but it's one of those things that I gotta definitely work my way up to. I don't just. It's not only would there be money involved in having to go downtown, but going downtown in and of itself is pretty. It's arduous. Like, I really don't want to do it, alright? I don't like going downtown. We'll talk about that more in a different video. Not only downtown, but the different parts of San Antonio. I do want to talk about the different parts of San Antonio just to give everybody a feel for them out there and what we're dealing with. But I do want to mention there was a parade downtown, right? And I didn't go to it. It was, probably would have been pretty entertaining or whatever, but I pretty much stayed on the north side of town. Didn't go downtown, right? It's interesting. I was on the north part of town, but I was traveling across town earlier today, and so experiencing, more traffic than I really care for. And in doing so, I did see one truck, and it's very sus. Right, and I have no way of proving anything, right? But imagine this: you're traveling down the highway Saturday, so it's fairly decent amount of traffic, and you see a white Dodge Ram pickup truck. It's just kind of having his way with the highway and stuff, carrying on, switching lanes, trying to pass people up. All right, carrying on, doing a little swiveling, a little swerving, and I had just noticed it because the truck was pulling up ahead of me, going a little bit faster than me, right? And I just noticed it carrying on. I don't know if y'all ever been in a situation where you notice someone's carrying on the road and they're having their way and it's not looking too good. It's looking kind of dangerous. All right. So as soon as I noticed this Dodge Ram pickup truck, it threw out. And it's like at the most golden time, right, for me to see it. It throws out a beer can out the side of the window, almost like as disrespect, you know, to whatever car is behind it. Like, oh, you're behind me, you're in my way, get out of my way. I'm gonna throw a beer can out the window, all right? Blatant disrespect. The beer can was in fact a Bud Light one, because you could tell, Bud Light can is pretty distinctive, right? So throws out a Bud Light can into the traffic so that I see it. Here's the thing: this white Dodge Ram pickup truck, the timing would have been perfect. Like the parade ended at a certain time, and then I can imagine someone going straight from the prop parade to the north side of town, swerving and having a good old time, guzzling down Bud Lights. Bud Light is going all in. They've been sponsoring praise and all this. So I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know and I can't prove it. All right, I'll never be able to prove it. But wouldn't it be very interesting if that was in fact the case? And in fact, LGBTQIAs or whatever probably be driving all sort of big trucks around San Antonio, Texas. So I couldn't put it past them. All right, but that was just one thing that I wanted to bring up, and then another thing that's kind of serious that I'll go ahead and stick with, and I want to see if it goes anywhere. Is, for example, this story of a man getting shot up at a barbershop. Right? As I mentioned before, I just want to see more material and content from these rappers, because every now and again, rappers get shot up, even especially in San Antonio. The rappers do get shot up, but however, I've never heard of these rappers and stuff like that. I don't know where to find their content. When I start to look up their content, of course, on YouTube, the first 20 videos are going to be about their unfortunate demise. Right? And it's not going to be their music. It's not going to be their music videos. I just hogged my horn. I scared myself. Alright? But it's not going to be their music videos. And it's very hard to find their content. They say, oh, this is a rapper from San Antonio. His name's Glizzy. Famous Glizzy the rapper. I'm like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. And anyways, I don't want to talk about it too much, but rappers, sometimes they get killed. And a lot of times people are getting the stories all mixed up. They're saying this and that. Rappers are never so famous as when they get shot up, and they're only famous for a little while, it seems. Shout out and rest in peace, rest in power to our man Glizzy. That would be Adam Glass, I believe, who he got shot up, and a lot of people were getting shot up this past weekend, right? And so that's why you get this story right here. San Antonians rally for peace after a recent spat of shootings. And like I said, I'm going to keep my eye on it. If the shootings continue to increase at this rate, well, then we could say we got definitely a big problem on our hands. But perhaps that was just a rash of shootings, and perhaps that wouldn't even indicate an increase really. You know what I'm saying? It might be a small increase for a temporary amount of time as far as the murders. Right? And people are concerned because some people were thinking that some of these past shootings could have been connected to the other shootings. Like these could be reactions from certain shootings, and now other people are getting shot. People are getting shot up all over the place. I don't know. We're going to have to investigate that, and that's pretty tough. All right? We're going to keep an eye on that and see if it doesn't increase. With that being said, one thing that I wanted to check out, and I only saw it like kind of briefly earlier. Let's see if we still got it up right here. Fairly serious. It's not like the most important thing. In fact, most people won't even hear about it. Most people in San Antonio won't even hear about it, but this was an interesting story, I thought to myself. All right, and I didn't even read the whole article, so maybe we can read right through it real quick. You know what I'm saying? While we're here and while we got some daylight. All right, it's running out real quick. But I thought this was pretty interesting. Look, man dead in murder and a suicide after killing the roommate, shooting at officers. At SAPD officers, says Chief McManus. Right, and I believe this is on a side of town. It's probably not too far from me. It says the northeast side of town. Or actually, I don't live so much northeast anymore, but I had been living on the northeast, becoming very familiar with it. And it caught my eye especially because it's a roommate, right? And so automatically I think that, there's reason to believe perhaps that there's very deep seated emotions going on, especially in this murder suicide CD. Alright? But as I read the article earlier, it got a little bit more interesting than even I thought it would get. Right? So let's scroll and see what the heck they're talking about. Like, this incident occurred around 2 a.m. on the 480 block of Raybon Drive. All right, and the writer of this, I don't know who's the writer, but San Antonio, a man and his roommate are dead in a murder-suicide at a northeast side apartment complex after police say he fired multiple gunshots at responding officers early Friday morning. So this happened just the other day on the northeast side. I don't know that everyone is going to hear about it necessarily. I doubt it. It's not a big deal, but it's really kind of interesting. He fired shots at officers. Alright, so officers were called just after 2 a.m. to an apartment complex in the 4800 block of Raybon Drive, not far from Eisenhower and Redmond Road, after receiving words of shots fired. So there's multiple shots fired, and then they get, the call, and they rush to the scene. According to San Antonio Police Chief William McManus, when officers arrived, they found themselves under a constant barrage of gunfire. See, that's what really, really, really caught my eye. And it might just nobody's going to hear about this, right? But that really caught my eye. A constant barrage of gunfire, meaning you can imagine how much gunfire that means. At past 2 a.m. in the morning, at the police, it stands to reason you already killed your roommate with multiple gunshots. There's shots going off like I don't even want to say like a damn war zone, right? Gunshots are going off. How many gunshots? A lot. McManus said that the first patrol car that arrived was hit by about 40 rounds. Okay, so it's I want to read the rest of the article and find out who is all hurt, but you can see how this would easily be a mass incident of epic proportions. Had this particular alleged insane person been more efficient at taking lives, he sure did spend up enough bullets, is what I wanted to point out. The first car came through, got hit by 40. The first one did, and then the officers had to take coverage behind a garbage dumpster. A total of 5 police cars were struck in the shooting, and the shooter was standing in the doorway firing shots with multiple guns. I mean, it was just some Rambo stuff, dude. I couldn't hardly believe it. And the thing is, I have roommates, but hopefully my roommates aren't flying out the handle. First of all, I don't know anything about this situation, but I would say that if my roommates start taking psychotropic drugs from some sort of therapist, I'm going to know that they're about to shoot me up and shoot everybody up. Alright? Period. I don't know about what happened here. Something bad happened here. The shooter was standing in the doorway firing shots with multiple guns and may have fired around at an Eagle helicopter. Dude, he's firing rounds at the helicopters. Okay? But they said it didn't hit the helicopter. The police chief said every available officer soon arrived and that they had evacuated as many people as they could from the area. The man was firing everywhere. And it just makes me wonder, okay, nobody's going to hear about this really, right? Nobody's talking about this so much. They're going to probably talk about Glizzy, the rapper, and Lord knows we need to get to the bottom of that. But this one, not so much, even though this was it's like True Lies. It's like some Mission Impossible, Jason Bourne type carnage, it seems. The guy's trying to shoot down helicopters. just on the other side of town, people arriving home said police told them that they couldn't enter because of an active shooter situation. People in the area said that they heard multiple gunshots, and the police and negotiators were also heard on a loudspeaker at one point, on a loudspeaker they had out there. And I don't understand what happened, because this guy was firing off all sort of shots, and they got enough time to talk to him on a loudspeaker with negotiators and all this. I'm trying to figure out how exactly this all went down. Alright, if in fact people even know if they've even investigated it. I'm asking myself, how does this go down? He's like standing in the door, y'all show up. Y'all get shot up with 50 some odd bullets. He's standing in the doorway with multiple guns, and y'all get on a loudspeaker to try to negotiate. I don't know if I'm following it correctly, but we're going to continue. The situation ended after SWAT fired tear gas into the apartment and then went in. That's when they found a man and his roommate dead. He believed that he got shot and he killed himself. The guy. Alright? And I just want to know. And obviously it would all be easily well documented. Y'all show up. You're negotiating with this guy for a while somehow. You wind up thinking it's a good idea to put tear gas on him. And then he wanders back in the house and shoots himself. And then y'all come in and you're like, oh man, he shot himself. He's dead. That's exactly what happened? I want to know exactly what happened. I don't get what happened. That's when they found a man and his roommate who was dead. But you can imagine how many bullets were expended during this whole damn issue. Officers are now... Did the police shoot any bullets? It doesn't even say in the article, but officers are now canvassing the area to make sure no one else was hit by the gunfire. Neighbors who live in the apartments are still not being allowed home yet, and it's unclear what sparked all the gunfire. What sparked all the gunfire was somebody slipping and tripping hard, bad, and it got very emotional. It had something to do with his roommate. Obviously, it's like, go ahead and investigate. It's just not too mysterious. The SAPD shut down the area near Raybon Drive and Eisenhower Road during the incident, and the roads have since been reopened. Alright, and so this is the particular area. Let's see if we could zoom out a bit. What part of the Northeast are they talking about is what I wonder. Zoom out here on San Antonio. There you go. That's a little bit outside of the city. Alright. Over here, it's pretty close with where I used to stay at, and people are getting very heated, shooting up their roommates and shooting up everybody else. They got like crazy arsenals of guns, and they're willing to die, obviously, and they run around all savage. All right, there's some people out here really living that life, right? And they can't help. I'm going to get up out of here, but I want to talk about later is that they cannot help. You see these savage people living savage lives, and they're willing to go to such extents and do all, and they have crazy arsenals of guns and everything. They're out there. It don't matter what law you make. These people have the guns. They're not getting rid of the guns. Alright? And they're out there and they're savage, right? But what I wanted to point out, what most people don't, is that, of course, when we talk about the new generation, they're very soft, very timid, can't hardly look in the eye. And you notice that, right? But you can't really blame them. That's how they were brought up, right? They're like easy pickings. To savage people out here doing savage things, you'll run over everybody you meet, and you wouldn't be able to help it. Your life would be running over people all day, and they're just going to let you. And you're just going to become more financially incentivized to do so. And you're savage. And they're absolutely helpless and vulnerable against you. That's what the future looks like in and around the San Antonio area. And we'll talk about it more later in more detail, the different parts of San Antonio, for example. I don't think this map will let me do anything like that. But we'll talk about that a little bit later and stuff. I get my stuff together, alright? I need to get on Rumble already. I'm ashamed of myself. But I'll holla.